So students, we're going to cover a couple of exam type questions just to give you some practice on how to evaluate these type of questions. Some of you need that, and so here we go. We're going to do one at a time, and this will give you a chance to kind of review and get comfortable with the way the exam questions are written. All right, number 1 says the while loop, j equals 0, while j is less than or equal to 10, j++, which means add 1 to j. This loop terminates if j is greater than 10. Is that true or is that false? Okay, so let's look at this. It says while j is less than or equal to 10. So the loop will continue while that's true. So if j is greater than 10, would it terminate? The answer is true. It would terminate because this would no longer be true. The next one, a sentinel-controlled while loop is an event-controlled while loop whose termination depends on a special value. All right, the key here is sentinel-controlled. That's what would cause the termination. What does that mean? We talked about it earlier. You need to know that. Sentinel control. That would be like the menu program where you hit a 9 to get out of that menu, right? So this would be true. You have a special value that would stop the loop. Number 3, to read data from a file of an unspecified length, so we don't know how many pieces of data are in that file, an EOF controlled loop is a good choice. True or false? It's true. EOF stands for end of file. So you would set up an end of file controlled loop so that when it reached the end of the file, the loop would stop. So that would be true. A do while loop is called a pretest loop. True or false? What do you think? It's false. Do while actually tests the loop at the end. It's post-test loop. It happens at the end after the loop has already executed once. Executing a break statement in the body of a loop will immediately terminate the loop. True or false? We learned this. It's true. The break statement stops the loop. Very good. Okay, here's number 6. What is the output of the following C++ code? Integer I equals 1. Integer num equals 2. While I is less than 5, num equals num times I equals I plus 1. This is all in the loop. And then when the loop exits, you see out I equals, and whatever the value of I is, and num equals, and whatever the value of num is. So if we were to run this the first time through, I starts out as 1 and num starts out as 2. So 2 times 1 is 2. So I is 1, num is 2. Then we add 1 to I. Okay, 1 plus I equals I. And we go back around, it's I is less than 5, so when we added 1 to I, it became 2. 2 times 2, which now num is 4. And we add 1 to I becomes 3. And we're less than 5, so 3 times 4 is 12. So num is 12. And we add 1 to I becomes 4. It's less than 5, so 4 times 12 is 48, and I becomes 5. We add 1 to I. Okay, and then so let's look at the output. I went through and added output in different places here that show the values. I did that just so you could see how it works. So before the loop, the value of I is 1 and the value of num is 2. In the loop, see how it increases by 1 each time, and see how these are multiplied by I. you can see that 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, and then of course we did the last loop and it became 48. This is how you learn. You can go through and add printout, see out, right? Put it to the screen, see out to the screen, and see what they're doing as they go through the loops. Will help you learn. All right, that was a good one. All right, so let's start problem number 7. What is the output of C++ code? We have integer num equals 1, while num times num is less than or equal to 50. Do what's in these braces right here, these curly braces. When this is no longer true, exit and do this cout statement. So I kind of added to this cout statement. That's what you see here when I run the program. Inside loop num is 1, so it was set to 1. We go through the loop the first time, which is, I've made this say inside the loop, right? Num is 1, then we add 2 to num, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so then it's cout num, or inside the loop now, num is 3, and then we add 2 to num, so 2 plus 3 is 5, so now num is 5. This will continue, right? And as long as num times num is less than 50. Now we finally get to 9, and 9 times 9 is 81. We did 7, right? It went through and then added 2, and then num was 7. 7 times 7 is 49, so they kept the loop going. But when we added 2 to 7 and we got to 9, it couldn't do it, right? 9 times 9 is 81. This was no longer true. So what was the output? 9. 9 was what the value of num is when this ends. Now, if you look closely at this, this says cout inline. So here, nothing would ever really be printed out. I did that to help teach you how the loop would operate, but once it's finished, nothing would be printed out here. So the only thing that would be in this one that doesn't have the modified cout statement would be 1 space, because here's your space, 3 space 5 space 7, all in the same line. Okay? Just so you know that. Okay, that's all the practice questions I have for right now. Maybe there'll be some more. I don't know yet, but let me know if these help you out, help you understand the test. I'll be talking to you again soon.